Just a bit of bake-off music for you guys, because we are looking for our star chef in this term's design and technology D&T unit of work. So let's move on. The star chef competition, this entails we are looking for the master chef from each year group. So we are setting you the task of preparing and creating a meal completed with packaging. And there is a prize for the winner. Can I get a yeah? Woohoo! Okay. So the details that you need to know for our Star Chef competition. You have until Friday the 26th of February to complete your challenge and post photos of your journey onto Teams, or drop off pictures into school if you don't have the technology to do this. Just a little reminder, it's not until Friday evening, okay? We want to share all of your hard work on our social media platforms, so for instance Twitter and Facebook, and we are just so excited to see your food creations. So after all, as you already know, we Year 5-6 teachers, Miss Turner, Miss T, Miss Prendergast and myself, we are absolute food monsters, and we just love food. So you can see why I've chosen that specific bitmoji there. I want food! Okay, the winners will be announced on Monday, the 1st of March. And a really important note, so if you're working from home, which means remotely, and you've got a sibling in a different year group, you may have different recipes. So you just need to choose one recipe to complete all together, but still complete the worksheets that you've been assigned from your year group that are inside your home learning pack or have been uploaded to Teams. So, drum roll. In Year 5 and 6, we are baking Chinese milk bread. Can I get You can see it looks absolutely delicious. So our recipe is what you can see on your screen now. You will need all of these different ingredients to bake your Chinese milk bread. You'll need all-purpose flour, sugar, salt, instant yeast, large eggs, warm milk, unsalted butter, and the egg wash, the 2 eggs mixed with some water. Okay. So you've got time now to gather those ingredients so that you can work through the week, or you can complete your worksheets on one afternoon. You can do, if you're working from home, you can work throughout the week completing your worksheets. You can do it on one specific day. I know Year 5 in school we are focusing on doing it on a Thursday, and in Year 6 we are doing it on the Friday morning. Year 6s, you can do it all day Friday, which would be lovely. Okay, so these are your instructions. It's really important. You might want to take a screenshot of this. So take a picture on your device, so you've got this, or you can always come back to this point of the video and pause it, so you know exactly what you need to do in order to create your lovely Chinese milk bread. Okay, so in order to complete our D&T objectives across both Year 5s and 6, we need to complete some work before and then after making our bread. So our success criteria and these objectives that we need to meet, we can measure accurately and calculate ratios of ingredients to scale up or down. This is this top one here. Second one, I can present and package a food product. Number 3, I can explain how product should be stored and explain why. Number 4, I can take into account consumer needs and health implications when designing a product. And number 5, I can name a range of different substances found in food and drink that are needed for health. Now you'll find that some of the work Year 5s have and some of the work Year 6s have. But because obviously the circumstances, we'll have missed out on some learning from our previous year group. So it's really important year sixes, you're still listening to the information that I'm giving to you on the year 5 learning, because that is a recap for you. And I've just put here a recap for the year sixes. So year 5s also need to understand why some foods cannot be eaten raw and why seasons affect the availability of some foods. So, and the recap for you, year 5, is also embedded in there. We've taken it back so that year 5s and year 6s both get coverage of all the objectives. So, are you prepared to face the challenge? Are you ready to be crowned the master chef, making the most brilliant Chinese milk bread? Let's go. Okay, so our first objective, we need to measure accurately and scale a recipe up or down. Now, we've been given a recipe which is quite large. So we need to maybe scale up or down, do you think? You're right, we need to scale down. Okay, so that we have actually been given a recipe that's going to give us a huge portion. So we need to scale down our recipe so we can make just the right amount to make our final product. And the meal that we've been tasked with is a sandwich. So, first things first, we need to use our maths brains to calculate exactly how much ingredients we require. We need half the amount of the ingredients that the recipe tells us to use. So what operation will I complete in order to find the amount that we need? I need to half it. Pause it now to have a quick think. Yes, if I'm halving, I divide by 2. So let's have a look. Oh, first of all, sorry, I forgot to look at the objective and to see what our main vocabulary is for today. So it's ingredients, the weight of ingredients. We need to be looking at the actual substance, the actual product. Okay, and those are the product is the sandwich that we are making, and the substance, the ingredients that we are using, are all these things here in our recipe. Obviously, weight is how much how heavy it is, what amount we need. Okay, so the first one has been done for you. So both year 5 and 6 are completing this task. And it's task 1. So you can see that the main recipe says I need 520 grams of all-purpose flour, but I need half the amount of that. So I need to divide 520 by 2, which gives me the answer of 260 grams. It's really important that I still use the same measure. So the metric for my all-purpose flour is grams. So I'm making sure that I am using grams there when I'm writing it down. And that is represented by the little G that is written next to my number. So now I'd like you to complete your independent task. Fill out all of these to the ingredients needed for the bread. Then you're going to divide the number by 2 so that you have the accurate weight needed to make your bread. Okay, now we are going to move on to speak about allergies. Now you can see here, year 5, so this is your task 7, and year 6, this is your task 2. So you can move about the worksheets if you've got them at home and remote learning, and if you're in class, you'll have all those sheets printed off anyways. Okay, so allergies. Our objective is to understand that some people have food allergies. Now year 5, you'll be learning a bit more content here. And year 6, I'm expecting you to take most of this information so that you can apply it to your worksheet. Year 5, you're looking at this little guy here, Tom, and he's got a speech bubble on his worksheet, which you'll be looking at soon. And he's saying, well, if I'm allergic to this and I'm allergic to that, what actually can I eat? And it's up to you to decide what Tom can have based on his diet and what his allergies are. Okay, so an allergy. What is an allergy? An allergy is a reaction the body has to a particular food or substance. And obviously, we are talking about food because we are doing food technology. Okay, so the body, and in particular the immune system, can be hypersensitive, which means really, really sensitive to different products. And for food, for instance, it's particularly nuts or fruit or shellfish, so prawns, or mussels. Eggs and cow's milk, and you think about cows, maybe lactose intolerant. And it's really important that we consider these, because if we are making a sandwich for our target audience, we need to make sure we are considering their allergies and what they are allergic to. Because actually, if we have a food that we are allergic to, it actually causes quite awful symptoms sometimes. It can make us, so you might, for instance, pollen. People can be allergic to pollen and we sneeze quite a lot. Or if we have shellfish or peanuts, we can really come out with a really big rash and allergic reaction. We can have really bad stomach ache, and they can be quite severe. If we think about the raw chicken, sometimes, I mean, if that is not cooked properly, it can be really dangerous. It has this called salmonella. If you have chicken raw, you have salmonella, and it's really lethal. So we need to avoid and manage allergens. So allergens are the substance that actually cause the allergic reaction. So we need to avoid that wherever possible. So you can see for your task, for your independent one for year 6, you have got to use the vocabulary immune system, allergens, food, substance, reaction, mild and severe, to fill out this sentence here. Now, year 5, you might want to have a go at just thinking, oh, what words would go into this sentence in at home or in the classroom now? Your task is to think, right, if Tom is allergic to nuts and if is he allergic to tomatoes, what foods can he have in there instead? And so it's about completing a bit of research to find, right, I know, for instance, that ham, he can have ham in his sandwich, does that contain any traces of nuts? Because we don't want to cause a severe reaction. We don't want Tom to go into an anaphylactic state. So that means that he's flared up, his mouth has gone really flared and large, and it's gone red and rashy. Okay, we don't want that at all. We don't want to, make our customers and our target audience feel ill and poorly. And also, like I said about the sneezing, the pollen and things like that, there are mild allergic reactions to certain allergens, but we want to prevent all allergic reactions. So quickly filling out that worksheet and knowing and speaking about it in class, speaking about it at home with your parents, to maybe build on what I have said, to build on your knowledge, so you can complete your worksheet. Now, we also are going to speaking about raw food. So this is a year 6 recap, and year 5, you have a worksheet to complete with this. Okay. So some of the foods that you should never eat raw are on the list because they're poisonous without cooking, and some foods on this list require cooking so that your body can receive all the nutritional benefits from them, so that they don't taste absolutely awful. And what I mean by nutritional benefits, I'm getting all those nutrients, all those minerals, and all those vitamins that my body deems important, which will help build my strength, and which will make me feel really healthy and feel really good. So what is actually in fact raw food? So raw food is anything that has not been refined, canned, or chemically processed, and has not been heated above 48 degrees Celsius. So eating raw fruit and veg does help you to achieve your 5 a day and pack your diet with vitamins, minerals, and fibre. Sorry. There are benefits in eating some raw food, but eating cooked food, on the other hand, can make the job of digesting easier. So we looked at the digestive system in year 4 in science. So we know that it goes through the esophagus, and our enzymes and our stomach acid breaks down those foods, and it makes it easier for us to digest. However, sometimes eating raw foods that can make it difficult for our bodies. The cooking food has a major advantage, and it protects us from foodborne pathogens, which is those toxins that can make us quite ill. So when we're using raw foods, we need to think about, is it suitable? Can I eat this raw, or can I actually not eat this raw? So you can see my Bitmoji here. I absolutely love salmon. So I actually could sleep in salmon. I'm a bit of a rolled up sushi here. Salmon is, you can eat that raw. And so you can get it on sushi. And so that is a product that I might have in my sandwich. I might have a salmon cream cheese and cucumber sandwich. But things that I can't eat raw, and some examples here, we know that we can't eat chicken raw because we get salmonella. And you may have seen Rocky Balboa down some raw eggs in his boxing films, but actually that is on the basis that he is just getting that for the protein. But there are elements of having salmonella when you have raw eggs, so it's really important to cook those. And there's so many ways that you can cook eggs. You have a boiled egg, poached egg, my favourite, scrambled, fried. You can make it into an omelette. You can make a tart. So really, the options are endless when you're cooking eggs. And also, the options are endless when you're cooking with potatoes. Now, we can't eat raw potatoes. That's one of those things that we come back to, and it says that so they don't actually taste awful. I eat raw potatoes because it'll just taste disgusting, and we don't want anything disgusting in our sandwich. So here are some other examples of foods that we really shouldn't be eating raw. We've got chicken, kidney beans, pork, potatoes, rice, eggs, and mushrooms. And I'm sure if you did a bit of your own research as well, you would find that there are other foods that you can eat raw based on the fact that they have toxins in, so they'll need cooking first, or actually that they taste pretty awful if we don't cook them. So just a quick note also on when you're preparing raw foods, it's really important that we wipe down our surfaces and use different chopping boards for raw ingredients. So if I am using some salad for my sandwich, so I'm preparing my lettuce and my tomatoes and my cucumber on one board. I'm not going to use the same board that I've prepared maybe my chicken on to prepare my salad because there'll be cross-contamination. I don't want my fresh salad to be contaminated with possible salmonella. So I'm making sure that I'm using separate boards to prepare my food. So I think year five, you've got a task now to complete about raw foods, and I think maybe it's a poster or an explanation why. So show your understanding of your and why some raw foods need to be definitely cooked and why some foods we can eat raw. So year six, and for your task two and year five, you can listen to this and you can think about maybe asking your peers in class or somebody at home what would they prefer because in their sandwich because we're focusing on making a product that could be given to a target audience. So we've got to create a product design survey, and this could be in class a quick chocolate bar. You know, get your piece of paper, fold it into eight, and go around and ask in class, what ingredients do you really like? What ingredients you could write in green, and the ingredients that you absolutely love, and the ones in red that I don't like those. Or actually, I'm allergic to those, so I'm not going to have that allergen, that product that would make me have a severe or a mild reaction. So I've just put here as well some food allergen guides to consider. So you're thinking about maybe the milk or cheese. If people are lactose intolerant, that means their body doesn't really respond well to those dairy products, and they will flare up and have really bad stomach ache. So it's really important for those people to avoid those dairy items. However, they may absolutely love ham, and they may absolutely love salad. So you can actually make a grand ham salad sandwich if you know what your target audience likes. So we need to ask them what they like, what they don't really like, and if they have any allergies. And at home, it's just a quick write down, just to prove that you're really engaging with your target audience, to show that you are taking you're considering what they like and what they don't like, because we don't want to make a sandwich that won't be eaten. So we need to think about the fillings, and this will inform your ingredients list, so what you need to fill your sandwich. So you can see here, do you like, you might have, you might do something similar like this in class on a piece of paper, you might do this at home, or again, you might just do that chocolate bar where you just go around and you're filling out fillings that people like, and then you'll find on your piece of paper the most common denominator. What is the thing that people like the most? So you might have the name there. So you might say mum or grandma or dad or uncle if they're in the same household as you. You might have your sister or your brother, and if you are in class, you might have your peer. It might be James, Caleb. It could be Lexi. Complete your survey thinking about, do they like cheese or do they like the eggs? And I don't know why it's got a picture of pizza. We won't be putting pizza fillings in there, but you might think of the toppings that go on top of the pizza. Can they actually have bread? Because some people are allergic to gluten. So you might be thinking, right, actually, then you can't have my sandwich because my bread has got gluten in it. Okay. We're not going to make a chocolate bread. We're not making something similar to a croissant. So we wouldn't have that product there. So we're thinking about what food is most relevant to making our sandwich. I'm not going to make a survey with chocolate on it. So that is a bad example of a product that I wouldn't be including in my sandwich. But definitely cheese would be an item that I would consider putting on my survey. Also, ice cream and chips would be a bad example of what I'd put on my survey. Okay, but definitely I think nuts would be a consideration because we're thinking about those allergies that people may have, and some products, some foods do definitely have traces of nuts, so it's really important that we be mindful of that. So I'd like you to complete that. Year 5, you can go on with a chocolate bar in class or at home, and year 6s the same. Create a table like this or do a chocolate bar. It's about taking part in this product design survey. Now, we are going to be looking at what forms a healthy diet. So our main objective is I can name a range of different substances found in food that are needed for health. So we want our sandwich to be tasty and also nutritious. We want it to, sorry, taking a break there. We want it to have all the different nutrients and a well balanced sandwich that has our bread, so we've got our carbohydrates there, but we can also have some protein and we also have some fruit and vegetables in there. So we need to think about which sandwich fillings our target audience like the most, and then combine the substances that hold a high nutritional value to attract our customers. So we want our sandwich to be healthy. So I'm thinking about with the fruits and vegetables in this category here, and you can see that it forms a high percentage, a high proportion of our Eat Well plate because we are encouraged to eat quite a lot of fruit and vegetables. And if you can remember, it is our 5 a day. Now, we also have quite a lot of bread, rice, potatoes, and pasta on our plate. That's quite a high proportion on our plate as well. And that source of carbohydrates, that fuels us, that's our carbohydrates. Okay, we also have milk and dairy foods, that's all our wonderful calcium that help improve bone strength and our helps our teeth be healthy. We've also got food and drinks that are high in fat or sugar. Now that is still part of our diet, but it's also thinking about eating those in moderation. Think about, okay, I'm not going to have lots of that, but still to have a well-balanced, healthy diet, I'm going to maybe include some. And in sugars, in sauces, that you might have a bit of tomato ketchup on your sandwich or some mayo. They will have sugars in the sauces, and you can look at the ingredients on the back of the sauce on the labels, and so you can see how much sugars or salt is included in that. And then finally, we have our meat, fish, eggs and beans, and this is our source of protein. And that's for our muscles. So they help build and repair our muscles. So they actually have a thing called amino acids in our and they in the proteins, and that's helped build our bones and our muscles so that they are strong and healthy. And also, all food is a source of energy. If you think about a car and how we need that petrol or that diesel to fuel us, our food is our petrol, guys. So we need all the nutrients, all the vitamins, and all the minerals from a healthy, well balanced diet to fuel us so that we feel energized, so that we feel in a good mood. Because if we was to constantly eat the foods that are high in sugars and fats, you could see that it would affect our mood and our skin, how we feel. But if we have a well balanced and a healthy diet, I'm sure I can say that it would make you feel a lot better. Your body would feel healthy and energized, and you'd feel a lot more willing to get up and get out and enjoy your day. So, as you can see, we've got proteins. They are to help the body to grow and repair itself. So there's amino acids in our proteins, breaking down, helping our muscle and bone development. We then have our vitamins that help the body to stay healthy. For example, vitamin C helps wounds to heal. We have our minerals, and they keep the body healthy. For example, calcium keeps our teeth strong, and iron is needed to help circulate oxygen around the body. We have fats, and that gives the body energy so we can be active. We have our carbohydrates, and this gives the body a lot of energy as well. It stores energy and helps insulate against the cold. We also have fibre, which helps keep food moving through the colon and intestines. So maybe a recap of the year 4 digestive system there. And finally, we have water, and that's needed for bodily fluids and normal cell function. So, for our year 6s, and well done to the year 5s who really took part in that and really took in all of that new knowledge and that new learning. For year 6s though, we'd like you to fill out this table. Now it's saying, thinking about what ingredients do we need for my filling? What sandwich, what is going inside of my sandwich? Okay, so you've got to list the ingredients you will put in your sandwich and the substances which are found in that make it nutritious. And you can challenge yourself and list the substances that are inside the food. Write down the specific minerals or vitamins that are included in the substances and state the importance of them. So if you're in class, do a bit more research, thinking of what minerals are inside lettuce and your salads, or what minerals and vitamins are inside different meat products, if there are. So we're understanding the nutritional value of foods and what minerals and vitamins we get that are good for our health. So you can see that Mr. T and I are thinking about the sauce that maybe we're going to put on our sandwich. Mr. P and I are thinking about what salad we're going to put in. And me, Miss Turner, are just having the time of our lives, being juiced pineapples and having a good dance, thinking, I am going to really enjoy this sandwich. If anybody fancies putting pineapple in their sandwich, go ahead, but I don't know if many people will put that on your survey. I don't know if pineapple in sandwiches is even legal. Never mind. I can't even think of it on a pizza. So each to their own there. I understand, each to their own. I'd like you to complete that task now, year 6s, and well done year 5s for listening to this bit of information. So this is for year 5s, but also it's a year 6 recap. So year 5s, I'd like you to really think about what you're going to be doing for taking this information so that can help inform your task. So geography, seasonality, weather and climate influence the availability of food and drink. So where food is grown, reared or caught has an impact on its availability. So whether it's available, can I get it or can I not? Okay, the seasons primarily dictate the food being grown or caught, although weather and climate also have an impact. So we know the weather, if it's really hot, in really hot extreme conditions, or if it's really cold. Okay, so when or autumnal or spring. Okay, so when fruits and vegetables are picked for consumption, so to be eaten, that have been naturally ripened on the vine or the tree, and harvested at the right time, it'll have much more flavour and nutrition. So when farmers are harvesting a large abundance of produce due to the crop being in season, the cost of the produce will actually go down. So if we're choosing foods that are we're in winter approaching spring, okay, if I'm choosing foods that are more likely to be in the spring, they will be more cost effective because and now because they are being harvested at this time as well, they'll be fresher. They won't be made to fit a certain season. So because they're grown in that time of the year, they'll be more available and they'll be fresher. However, if they're not, they have the risk of they're being used with different, maybe like they've used different chemicals, so they have a longer lasting shelf life. So what they're saying, if you actually choose the foods that come within a particular season, so winter, spring, autumn, or summer, they will have much more flavour and nutrients. And the cost of the produce will actually will decrease. And also, it's more environmentally friendly because more local harvests will be growing. More local people will be growing those certain foods. If, for instance, a food is not in season but somewhere else across the world is growing it, you may find that they'll have to use a lot of transportation to get across, which is lots of fuels being used, and therefore it's not environmentally friendly. So eating seasonally also reduces the demand for out-season produce, which further supports more local produce and supports local farming in your area, which means less transportation. So that's my point just then. And then fruits and vegetables that are stored for long periods of time due to transportation or to be used at later dates may not be as nutritious and healthy for us. So, for instance, like I was saying, if a certain produce, a certain food, has not been grown within its normal season, okay, it can be stored for a long period of time due to the transportation, and it's maybe had more chemicals put inside of that food so that it has a longer lasting shelf life because it's not being produced and not being grown within that particular season. So there's lots of things there of why the seasons affect the food and the availability and the impact that it has on the environment and the impact it has on our wallets as well, on our money. And we know that actually if we choose foods that are being produced within a particular season and we're in that season, it'll be more cost effective for us and more nutritious and healthier. So just as a little diagram as a diagram to show you and making thinking, oh, I'm going to pick this food because it is within season. You can see that here are our months, our 12 months of the year, and turkey, so that we'll have that like at Christmas time, is really only available in December. So big turkey birds, okay, they really are seasonal in December. You can get turkey mince. I love to eat turkey mince. You can get that all year round, but the main season that it's available is in winter, in that December time. Now, however, on the other hand, beef, okay, that comes from cows, obviously, is available all year, and so is chicken. And we know that lettuce is available all year round in our supermarkets, but you can see that it's season really. It's like half of April and then the last bit of April, and then May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December is that main season for lettuce to be growing. So during the other half of the year, so the back end of the year, we're seeing that our lettuce is going to be maybe cheaper. It will be more flavoursome. It will be more nutritious, and it won't be maybe filled with different types of chemicals to make sure that it lasts for longer. When I say these different chemicals, they are chemicals that are allowed to be within the food. So don't think like, oh no, I'm being infected. These foods do help the shelf life of it, and we can consume them. but I'm just saying that they are more nutritious if we buy them within the season. And you can see then, last but not least, tuna, which I love in a sandwich. Love it in a cheese and red onion panini, as Miss Turner and Miss T knows so very well. So my tuna is really available from May to September, and that's its main season. Even though I can get it all year round in my cans, in my tins of tuna, the fish and the harvest tuna within those 5 months. And so again, it's the tuna before that's maybe been available in supermarkets has been more it's been like more expensive, and it because it's not being harvested or produced within or caught. Sorry, the tuna gets caught in that within the specific months, so it'll be more expensive. And then you're thinking maybe about the impact on the environment as well, because where it's come from, and the transportation and the period of time that it's taken to come across to the UK. So Year 5s, I need you to complete that, and well done Year 6 for listening to that information as part of your recap. Now you might want to quickly make a tell me more card to think about what you've learned from this slide. Year 6s, Year 5s, you have got a little activity to complete there. So we have got a slide on how we are working hygienically, and both Year 5 and 6 have a task to complete on this. So our learning objective is to I can work in a safe and hygienic place, in a safe and hygienic way, sorry. And it's so important that when we are preparing our bread, that we are working in a safe and hygienic space. And how do we do that? Quickly pause the video. You've probably seen the pictures, and you already maybe know, but let's have that discussion in class or at home. So yes, you can see that before I make my product, which is my bread, and then I'm putting in my fillings to make my overall sandwich, to be the prize winner, to be the master chef, I must really follow and consider these really important elements before I start doing anything with food. It's really important that we wash our hands to get rid of any germs. We are going to sanitize our hands. We are also going to make sure that all our surfaces are cleared and clean. We don't want any bacteria on those surfaces where we are going to be preparing our food. As I mentioned earlier, all of our food, if I'm preparing any raw meats or any vegetables or any fish, I'm going to use a specific board for that. I'm going to use different surfaces. Or if I've only got one chopping board, I'm going to make sure that I keep washing that if I'm using different ingredients. So if I've got all my salad on one, I've prepared it, I've put that into a bowl to a side so I can use that later on, and now I'm preparing some meat. I am going to clean my board and make sure that I've got a safe and hygienic area where I'm preparing that food so there's no cross-contamination. So that is that's the importance of using the board. I'm not going to make anybody feel poor. I'm not going to cross-contaminate any foods in case I'm preparing different sandwiches with my bread that I've got, because I've got a big batch of it. I'm going to use different fillings maybe at home, because we are not going to cross-contaminate those foods. And most importantly, and why do you think I've got the fridge there? I'm going to make sure that whatever food I have, or whatever ingredients I have, I make sure I'm storing it in the particular place where it would need to be. So my salads and my meats or my cheese, I'm going to store that in a fridge, a refrigerated place where bacteria is stunned. It won't grow on my food as quickly as it would if I was to have my salad sat out on the side in warm conditions, okay, in a room temperature. It needs to be fresh. So that's why I have got my fridge there, making sure that my ingredients are all there if I need them to be in the refrigerator. And once I've finished, where does my final product go? And thinking about your final product, it's a sandwich, guys. So if you're going to supermarkets, where would you usually find your sandwiches? Yes, they're in the refrigerator, aren't they? It's really important that you're thinking, right, to work as hygienically and safely as I can. I'm preparing and making sure that my final product is following all of these regimented rules. I'm washing my hands, I'm sanitising my work surfaces, I'm using multiple boards or cleaning my work board if I can. So if I've got multiple boards, if I can use those, or I'm making sure that I am washing my board where necessary, considering the different types of products that you are working with. And I'm storing my ingredients and my final product in a safe, fresh container. So now you have a task to complete, showing your understanding. You've got 2 questions, showing your understanding of how you will work safely and hygienically. Now, last but not least, we have our packaging to complete. We've got our product, our lovely, delicious sandwich, which needs to go inside of packaging so that we can sell it. So we've got a task what we have to do, which shows our understanding of where we find certain information on our packaging. So I can present and package a food product is our learning objective. You can see that Miss Turner there has already used one of the labels from our box that is on our worksheet. Both Year 5 and Year 6 have this task. And she's saying, yes, I can see here on this green box that these are the nutritional values that have been pointed there out to me. So I can see what and the weight of those and then the nutritional value. So what my body is going to get, what benefits of that food. And so I can see what I am putting into my body. There is also labels that we need to consider in order to make sure that our customer knows exactly what sandwiches it is, what ingredients are in there, what allergies, how I need to store my sandwich, how if it's child friendly or not, how does my sandwich packaging look appealing, how is it eye catching, and where is the information that I really need to read if I'm looking for allergies. And then also I've just said about storage. So you can see that Miss Turner has told you where the nutritional value is. So you can actually add that to your worksheet now. And then I would like you to complete the rest of those labels on your worksheet. Now, as you are preparing those, those labels, and you're doing that, you're thinking also, right, what's my packaging look like? And you've got 3 different stencils that you're going to be looking at and choosing. You're going to be first of all looking at one of the stencils. So there is a cube, there's a sandwich box like this, and also a like a pyramid triangular one. And you're thinking about which is the most suitable net and packaging that I want to use for my sandwich. So you'll have a piece of paper where you can cut out the stencil and play around with it. Okay, choose one of these stencils to cut out and have a go and practice with. And if you think, oh right, I really don't want to use that, then choose out of the other 2. So there are only 3 different nets that you can choose from. Choose one of those, have a go at playing around with them. Then you'll see that the next sheet after that actually asks you to label your wonderful stencil that you have chosen with a success criteria. And as you can see here, you have to think about the name of the product, the ingredients, the allergies, somewhere transparent to see the product, the barcode, or the eye-catching appeal. Here are your stencils that you can cut out and practice with. Once you've decided on one of them, then you will go to the actual worksheet with either the cube on, the pyramid, or the actual kind of sandwich box that we see on the previous page with where you had to label. Now, once you've practiced cutting out a stencil and you've practiced, you've manipulated it and you've seen if it works or if it's suitable, if it's not, you go to that one that you've chosen and then you label it using the success criteria. You're going to be putting it, where do you think you want your name of the product? Where do you want your ingredients to be? So here is, say if I've chosen the pyramid box, okay? Here, I'm going to put the name of my product. At the back here is where my ingredients will go, and I'm going to label that and then write them down. I've already thought about what ingredients I'm going to be including. Okay, we know the ingredients of what our Chinese milk bread contains. Okay, so I'm going to be actually making sure I'm being specific here. And once I've actually done that, I can tick off on there, achieved. Okay, making sure that I'm actually following my steps to success. I know exactly what's required of me to make my sandwich box a good one. We want to make waggles, guys. We don't want to make shabby ones. We don't want to make wassels. Okay. So, yep, I've got my name of my product there. So, and then I'm going to put my ingredients on the back, which I'm going to put with a cross there. And I'm just going to go off my piece of paper and I'm going to write my ingredients. I'm going to write my labels. Okay. I'm going to, where the front is, where I've put my title, I'm going to draw a box there. Think about where my transparent part is going to be. So the consumer, my audience, can see what is inside that sandwich. They can get that visual. They can see what's inside of my sandwich and if it looks really delicious and tasty and if they want to buy it or not. I also want to make it look eye-catching. So with that transparent box there, they can say, oh goodness, that looks delicious, I'm eye catching. But how else can I make it really appealing for my target audience? I might use a green colour, I might use a pink colour. I might consider the actual fillings that I've got in my box and link my fillings to my box. If I've got green lettuce and I have got red tomatoes in my sandwich and I've got ham in there, which is a bit pink. I will maybe use those different colours to make a design on my box, which will make it really eye-catching. It will grab my audience's attention. I'm thinking about that. My allergies will also go on the back where my cross is. So I'm going to do another cross there because that's where my ingredients, all my information, I'm going to put it in one place. I think it's really important that I put it in one place so that the reader doesn't have to move and manipulate the box around. Okay, it's all in one place. It's really easy to read, and therefore my consumer can pick it up, quickly have a glance at it, see if there's anything that we're allergic to, any allergens in there that they may think, oh, I can't have that. So it's all in one place. So it's really easy. It's quick for my target audience to just grab and think, right, is this suitable? Is it appropriate for me or not? And then on my barcode, I think I'm going to put it onto this other side here. I'll just put an arrow there. So I'm thinking about my barcode. So think about what your name of your product is. I've just put a line there for my title, but I want you to actually tell me, what is it? You can say, right, that's where it's going to go, and draw an arrow. My title of my sandwich is the meteor because it's going to be full of meat because I absolutely love meat. Okay, but what's yours going to be? Okay, it could be called the cheese bomb because it's absolutely full of cheese in there. It could be a triple cheese sandwich. Okay, so you are achieving that learning objective by following those steps of success and that success criteria. Last but not least, lovely jubblies, we are going to be evaluating our product design. Okay, so you've done all of that hard work, you've completed the task, you've baked the bread, you've put in the fillings, you've considered the fillings and the allergens, the allergies that they may cause because of that hypersensitive immune system that people may have. And you're going to be answering these questions. Did your design meet the design brief? Okay, so explain how. Did it meet that success criteria? Did you have all of those elements ticked off? And did you follow the recipe to the T? Did you have all the ingredients that your survey brought up and what people liked and what people did not like? Did you follow it and did it come out? Did your final product come out as you imagined it? Okay, so you were actually assessing the work that you've completed, thinking about what worked and maybe what didn't. So then you think about what changes would I make if there are any. So that last question is, as you made your final product, did you make any changes? And if so, what were they? And then thinking also, actually, can I extend my answer by saying, now I've got it, yeah, I may have made changes throughout my process, but are there changes that I would make now? Now that it's all finished, because that is what a good design technology does. A good design technology person does. Let's get my words out properly, year 5 and 6. Okay, they are thinking How can I improve this? How can I make it the absolute best product that is going to attract my target audience? So thinking about that quality content and making sure that I am writing as a year 5 or as a year 6. Okay, you are evaluating your product, thinking about all that VGP that you would be including if you are in class or if you are at home, remembering that you are using your relative clauses, you are using subordination and coordination, all those fine basics that build us up to our year 5 and 6, our capital letters, our think spaces, our full sentences, full stops, all our correct punctuation. We've made a wonderful product. Now it's time to evaluate that, showing your thinking behind the process. Thinking, I wanted to make it this way because blah, 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 blah. I wanted to do this on my packaging because I thought it would be easier and more accessible for my consumer. I wanted all the information to be on one side of my packaging, and I wanted the clear, transparent, clean, like a film at the front, so they could see my product, so that they knew exactly what they was buying. Okay, that is the end of our lesson, guys. And I know you probably have done this maybe over the course of the week, and you've come back and you've started it again, you've paused it or you've played it. But well done for completing it. The whole phase, all the teachers in our phase cannot wait to see your final products and in class and at home. Remember to post lots of pictures showing your weighing of your products, showing your final product, showing us your evaluation on Teams or in paper packs. We can't wait to receive those and your feedback on them. We are really excited to see who the baker of our year groups are going to be, so that you can enter the competition and have that overall prize. So well done, a massive well done. And what is left to say is bon appetit. Enjoy your sandwich. Enjoy it with your family at home, and if you're in school, maybe take it home if you can, or enjoy it at school with your peers. Well done, guys. I hope you had lots of fun, and again, we cannot wait to see your final product.